Hello everybody, I am David here and welcome to the brand new show here on YouTube, the Let's Talk Football. And I'm Derek Dawson, your host, and today we have other members here of the show. We have Brennan Morton.
Hello, everyone, and of course, from the Rant Rate podcast, you go check it out every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central, 5 p.m. Pacific on my channel.
And we also have Chester.
Hello, everybody.
So this is the new YouTube channel, David Got Sports, where we are just going to be talking about sports here on the channel just to organize my content and also just to have fun with it as well and expand our audiences because we have two podcasts out there with different topics and we want to get that more of the audience. So here today it is the days off after week one just finished. We had some crazy games here this weekend, including the Broncos and Seahawks, and it's and we had some comebacks as well. It was very exciting weekend. I think Brian can agree with me on that.
Mm-hmm.
So, Brian, what do you have for us here tonight?
Yeah, again, we'll recap week one of the 2022 NFL season as we start off with last Thursday's game, where it involves the Bills take on the defending Super Bowl champions, Los Angeles Rams.
Yes.
And I mean, even though the Rams did their best, but it was the Bills pulled it off on that one. Thanks to Josh Allen with of 26 to 31, 200 close to 300 yards, 3 touchdowns and 2 picks. However, for Stafford though, he did 29 and 41, 240 yards, a touchdown and 3 picks on that one. And so the Bills beating the Rams have the little advantage of going into the regular season with the winning of 31 to 10.
Yes, 31-10. I watched that game this past Thursday, and I'm gonna tell you guys right now, those are very good two teams, the Bills and the Rams. But the Bills, they're gonna be good for one time, I think.
Oh yeah.
What do you have to say about that, Tristan?
I think the Bills are a great team. I think Josh Allen commands respect on the field. Even and then he had that controversial action he did where he you know
Yeah.
oh yeah, I wonder if he's gonna get fined for that.
For those who are wondering what happened, let's just say harassment.
Mm-hmm.
But we already went that on another show. But
Yeah.
um, but the Bills right now, I think they're going to be good for one time, and that is for the Rams. What do you guys have to say about that? I mean, their performance, they looked weak then.
Yeah. I mean, for the Rams, though, I will say though, hopefully they learned their lesson from week one. Going into week two, going into this coming they're getting into this coming Sunday though. Hopefully they do learn their lesson, what they did on last Thursday.
Yeah, I mean, when I was watching that game, they just looked weak, and I I don't know what's going to happen with them for the rest of the season, but I think they'll get better later on in the season. Um, so and let's go over Sunday's games, Brendan.
Yep, will do indeed. As involves this. The Saints going up against the Falcons, where at that time the Falcons had a 23-10 lead going into the fourth. However, they kicked the field goal to make it a 16-point game. But However, it's kind of like a little bit familiar with Super Bowl, where they had lead over the Patriots, and then when the Patriots came back,
Oh
it's
Yeah.
really
yeah.
similar where the Saints came back with to answer unanswered 17 points to get
Mm-hmm.
the win over the Falcons in a very close one to be exact, 27-26.
27-26. That is the game, one of those classic games here so far.
Oh yeah.
Oh man. Alright, what's next, Brendan?
Yep, and we got the San Francisco 49ers going up against the Chicago Bears, or in that case, the Bears.
Mm-hmm.
And with that though, Bears did pretty well though, and then I thought the Niners would do it, but then yeah, the Bears had something to say about that. So in which Justin Fields though did pretty well though, I will say, and then with that, and they secured the victory over the 49ers 19-10.
Yeah. 19
Yeah, 19-10 actually.
yes, 19-10.
And then this next game though, oh man, the Pittsburgh Steelers going up against the defending AFC champions Cincinnati Bengals.
Cincinnati. Yep.
Yeah, oh man. And this game though, where at the fourth quarter the Steelers blocked the field goal to go into overtime, and then when the final seconds are over for overtime, Steelers kick the field goal and win the game on that one, 23-20. Really, really good game though, I will say.
Yeah. Final in overtime, I believe that is the first overtime game this year.
Yep.
And I gotta say, that's like one of the most talked about games. And you know, that was that was a crazy game.
Oh yeah. I mean, and before we do go on to the next game though, we have reports that TJ Watt is out with a pectoral injury on this one, so he won't be needing surgery, but he still will be out for 6 weeks.
Uh, oh,
Yeah, not good indeed.
well, that would hurt them.
Mm-hmm. When it comes pretty much getting closer and closer to the season, but for now, this is really early on that one. But however, we do go into the next game where the Eagles going up against the Lions. Again, another close game though. I mean, Jared Goff did his best, though, but not too bad of a performance with 21 of 37, 215 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick. But however, the Eagles pulled it off by beating the Lions 38-35.
Wow.
Yep,
Crazy.
indeed. I mean, it came down to the wire, and the Eagles pulled it off on that one.
Mm-hmm.
And this next game, though, involves the New England Patriots going up against the Miami Dolphins. Yeah.
I'll have something to say, but go on.
All right. That's no problem. As where it starts, the McDaniel era starts off with a win over the Patriots, 20-7, the final.
Yeah, the only three games I watched on Sunday was the Patriots Dolphins, the sum of the Packers, and the Tom Brady Buccaneers Cowboys game. And I gotta say this about the Patriots. Th- uh, their game that day, 20-7. I don't know what their potential is going to be for the rest of the season because that team is going to be interesting. Mac Jones has talent. I'm going to tell that you all right now. If you look at his numbers last season, he has pretty good talent. But however, the defense for the Patriots to come into this season is not looking pretty. But with me as with me from the England, I still have faith for the Patriots. I want you two guys' thoughts on that.
I think Matt Mac Jones is green as hell, but he's got potential to be a star quarterback. I think the whole team needs to go in the locker room, have a meeting, see what they can iron out the bad choices they made, and I think the Patriots will win the next game.
Yeah, I mean, I would have to agree with you, Jesse. Hopefully they learned a lesson going into week number 2. Same scenario. Same. Let's just say same with the freaking Rams. Even
Mm-hmm.
though they're the Super Bowl champions, they have to have more. They got to crank and crank to become, top dogs in there yet again. But who knows? But as for the Patriots goes on this one, yeah, Mac Jones has some potential. Yes. But the thing is, the defense, it's going to be really iffy. But again, time will tell on that. Hopefully they clean it up, though, after the loss to the Dolphins. Can learn from, like I said, learn from their mistakes.
And playing in Miami for the Patriots, I don't know what it is. It's like every time they go to Miami, something bad happens to them.
Mm-hmm.
And they just couldn't do anything, period.
Oh, yeah.
I just don't know what it is. And still, even without Tom Brady, they have issues.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what it is. Is it the weather? Is it the crowd? I don't know what I don't
No.
know what other theories are, but I don't know what it is.
Yeah. As with that, we move on to the next game where the Ravens going up against those New York Jets. And with that, the Ravens had no problem beating the Jets 24-9, where Lamar Jackson betting on himself in his contract year.
Hmm.
I
Well, we'll see
mean,
what happens.
yeah, I will say that too. Hopefully he can achieve that, but again, time will tell on there as well. But then, yeah, we go into this next game where the Jacksonville Jaguars going up against the Washington Commanders.
The Washington team.
Yep. Originally the Washington football team, now they decide to call the Commanders.
Yep.
However, the Commanders getting the win over the Jaguars, first win of the season, 28-22, the final.
Very good for the Commanders. I mean, who knows what that team might have something going on, but the Jaguars beating them, that's pretty good.
Oh yeah, indeed. And then this next game was a really close one between the Cleveland Browns against those Carolina Panthers.
Hmm.
However, as another person, mentioned it, and he gave a good point on this, where the Panthers would have won the game, but had they not got a flag on the play, the Brownies would not win the game. But
Yep.
unfortunately, in that case, the Browns got the win over the Panthers in a really close one of 26-24.
Yep. A steal win for them.
Oh yeah, and begins with 1-0 to start off the season. And then we get into this game between the Colts and the Texans.
Hmm.
And with that, it ended in a tie.
A tie.
Yeah, to start off week 1.
How crazy is that? First game of the season and in a tie.
Yeah,
With-
just really, really crazy to be exact. And again, before we get into another game, though, they reports saying that the Colts cut kicker Rodrigo Blankenship after the week 1 struggles.
Hmm.
I mean, it might hurt them, or maybe might be a good thing, but who knows? Only again, time will tell on that to see if they'll have a new kicker. Probably have the backup, to be exact, but again, time will tell.
Yep.
And then another good game in this one. The Giants, the New York Giants, to be exact, going up against those Tennessee Titans.
Yes, indeed.
And then, the head coach of the New York Giants rallied from 13 down, got the comeback, and win the game on this one over the Titans, 21-20.
That is huge for them.
Yeah, indeed. The NFC East should help with them as well.
Yep.
It'll be really, really interesting to see the Giants getting into some good games and all that. But again, time will tell on this. However, this next game, though, involves the Green Bay Packers going up against those Minnesota Vikings. Let's just say
And what happened to Aaron Rodgers?
did not do well on this one. He only did 22 of 34, close to 200 yards, and a pick. No touchdowns at all.
How about that for the defending MVP Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah. Not looking good for Rodgers at all to start off week 1.
Mm-hmm.
And it ends off with a 23-7 win. Vikings get the win on that. And another one, though, where it involves the Kansas City Chiefs going up against those Arizona Cardinals. And the Chiefs had no problem beating the Cardinals on that one, 44-21. However, Andy Reid blames injuries on Cardinals turf that happened to
Oh
Trent
my god.
McDuffie and Harrison Butker. Yeah, I'm not joking.
Okay, I want to hear you two guys' thoughts about that.
I don't
Mm-hmm.
know if your team gets spanked like that. There's something wrong with your team.
I mean, even though you guys, the Chiefs got the victory over the
Yeah.
Cardinals, but
Mhm.
still blamed on the Cardinals on their Cardinals turf for injuring Trent McDuffie and Harrison Butker. That is crazy.
Without no explanation on why the turf was like that, with no explanation.
Exactly. There you go.
So, shame on him.
Yeah. Yeah. But either way, next game though, where it involves the Las Vegas Raiders going up against those Los Angeles Chargers.
Oh, Las and Las Vegas, Los Angeles action now.
Oh yeah. And it was pretty good though. for both teams. But then the victor came out by the Los Angeles Chargers, winning it in a very close fashion of 24-19. Where in this one, Keenan Allen will probably be out for this Thursday's game against the Chiefs because of that hamstring injury.
Uh, uh, darn.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully they figure something out though, to where they'll have a backup for Allen, but
Mm-hmm.
who knows on that?
Thursday prime time.
Oh yeah. Oh man, in this game, last night. Oh my god, last Sunday, where we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going up against those Dallas Cowboys.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Chester, but Tom Brady has done it again. 7-0. I mean, his first game back since he, I guess you could call, announced his retirement, but then came back and he's back like, I mean, he had a little bit, he wasn't that perfect of that game for Tom Brady, but he still got the job done, 19-3. And we have some stuff to say about that game later. But the two things I want to get into right now is that something happened at I believe it was the Patriots Dolphins game, where an incident happened where some clown decided to ruin some cars.
Mm-hmm.
Can you explain what happened to them?
Uh, I do not know as much as I know about that, but all I gotta say is it's not pretty. That's all I'm going to say that matter.
You know what I'm talking about, Chester, about what happened in Miami with that big accident?
Mm, didn't hear about that. That's
Well, let me look it up here right now.
Yep, a little bit of a standby on that.
Alright, let me see. Yeah. Uh, let's just say at the Dolphins game, uh, left his grill on right in front of my car and caught all these cars on fire.
damn.
Yep, that's what happened at the Patriots Dolphins game. And then later on that night, after the Buccaneers Cowboys game, a fight happened in the stadium with the fans.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
My gosh.
there you go. That's what. That's what. This is why I don't like these fans because they just. I don't know. Like, just please watch the game and just enjoy and don't make this a circus show.
Exactly.
I mean,
Yeah.
just please just enjoy the game and just don't fight with the fans. I mean, come on.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, to that clown at the Dolphins game about the grill, you need to get paid big time for that.
Mm-hmm.
For letting that grill left on fire. So, there you go.
Yeah.
What's next one?
Also, before we get into last night's game, yeah, it doesn't look good for the Cowboys where Dak Prescott did undergo surgery on his right thumb as of yesterday. and unfortunately, he will not be placed on IR, but he will be out for 6 to 8 weeks.
Mm-hmm. 6 weeks. That is a pain.
Yeah, and not good for the Cowboys either, unfortunately.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts, Chester, about your team this year? Like your season is pretty much already
Our
down the
season's pretty
toilet.
much over. I mean, like Stephen A. Smith said we could get Colin Kaepernick, and that's not gonna happen. I don't think that's gonna happen. I don't think with oh yeah, he's
Yeah,
good.
I highly doubt with Kaepernick, though. If that was the case, okay, sure, whatever. But in reality, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, he's 5 years removed from the league, and I mean, we don't know if he could still play or not. And with the way the offensive line in Dallas is protecting our quarterback, I mean, there's no guarantees he's gonna, be effective.
If you guys get Cam Newton, I'm gonna flip out.
Cam Newton would be a big help for the Cowboys. Hell, I'll even throw a name out there, RG3, even though he's retired.
Oh, Robert Griffin III.
I would want to see him come back at least, see if he could still do something because
Yeah.
he sat the rest of his career on the bench with Baltimore. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
And as for, I don't know what Cam Newton is doing nowadays, but if he somehow comes to the Cowboys, I'll flip out. I really would, because look
we
how
need a
bad he's been
quarterback.
recently.
We need a quarterback that's athletic because if you put in a pocket passer, he's just gonna get eaten up by the defense. Where we don't have Tyron Smith right now, he's hurt and he's more broken than Matt Hardy at this point in his career. He can't stay healthy.
Yeah,
He's injury prone, and
yeah, you guys need a quarterback, and we'll definitely talk about the new quarterback next week, depending on what's going to happen with the Cowboys. Um, I mean, Chester, do you think your team, the Cowboys, have the potential to reunite themselves and go to the postseason?
that's a big if. Depending if Cooper Rush actually, you know, steps up and plays the backup role, but you know, with the way the offensive line is protecting the quarterback, it's going to be hard to for the Cowboys to move the ball. I mean, they couldn't move the ball with Dak Prescott out there. What makes you think they're going to move the ball with? They need to work on blocking the rush because that team
Mm-hmm.
has no chance. I mean, we lost Amari Cooper to free agency. We don't have a starting. We don't have a number one receiver right now, and I don't know about CeeDee Lamb yet. He hasn't. He hasn't shown to.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know about the Cowboys. I don't know if they're gonna make it to playoffs with this trouble right now, but I'll be surprised if they get back on their feet.
Mm-hmm.
What's next, Button?
Oh man, and going into last night's game, man, oh man, the Denver Broncos against the Seattle Seahawks, where the one and only Russell Wilson made his return back to Seattle after
Yeah,
playing 10 seasons with his old team, the Seahawks, now a Denver Bronco.
yeah, a homecoming game for him.
Yep. And I mean, even though it was a great game, though, I mean, and we'll have a little bit of a rant like later on into the show. I mean, let's just say there were some good calls and some bad calls, I will say. The penalties wasn't some of them would be necessary, some of them okay, those are understandable. But I mean, and I want to say this: the fourth quarter, where they had the chance, the opportunity to win the game, but then all of a sudden, Nathaniel Hackett, the head coach, doesn't want to trust Wilson to go for the 4th and 5 situation to get them much closer to the end zone to have them win the game.
Mm-hmm.
However, he decided in his own mind to have Brandon McManus to kick a 64-yard field goal.
Wow.
And it was off to the right. No good. Missed opportunity. And with that though, I was shocked about Geno Smith, though. I will say. I thought he was gonna be bad at first, but I'll give props to him though. I will say.
Mm-hmm.
He did step up his game though. And at that time, Wilson with the Seahawks last season, he was injured, all that. Then had Smith being the backup quarterback at the time. And however, a season later, right now, he's their starting quarterback for the Seahawks. I mean, it's going to be really interesting to see how the Seahawks play throughout this regular season. And the Broncos, I mean, okay, Wilson didn't do too bad either. He did his best, but couldn't pull out the win. Hopefully they learned their mistakes from this, having the next game coming up against the Texans, and also for the Seahawks going up their NFC West rival, the San Francisco 49ers.
That's going to be a good game.
Yep. Bad move right there.
Mm-hmm. Bad move on the head coach by Nathaniel Hackett.
Yep. But you and Victor will have that thoughts there. I mean, what's your thoughts about that, Chester?
I think if you can't trust a star quarterback like Russell Wilson to close out the game, then you have no business coaching in the NFL. Everybody knows that Russell Wilson is a star quarterback. He's a franchise quarterback. He is a Super Bowl winning quarterback. I mean,
yep.
The fact that you can't trust him is just it makes no sense.
Mm-hmm.
Give the ball to the guy that can produce.
Yeah. You should have went with him. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh yeah.
And I was disappointed of the Broncos' performance at the end. But no matter what, it was still a great game to watch.
Oh yeah.
From a fan perspective.
Same here. Yes.
All right, what's next, man?
I mean, I also forgot to mention that Jamal Adams, the safety for the Seahawks, had the left quadriceps tendon been taken out during the game. And I don't know how long he will be out for, but hopefully it doesn't go for a downfall for the Seahawks. Again, time will tell. And with that, I think that will do on my end for the Week 1 recap for the start of the 2022 NFL season.
All right. So, I gotta say about Week 1. That started Thursday, then went to Sunday, to Monday. I gotta say, we had some great games. Some a little bit boring, but overall, I think we had a great Week 1. But I gotta say, the penalties, too much.
Yeah.
I've seen too much of penalties, in the past few games, and
oh goodness! Oh, there it goes.
Huh?
You were cutting in and kind of been frozen a little bit. Yeah. That's not good. Oh, that blasted David.
Uh-oh.
There, his screen froze. Dad, he blasted.
Hopefully his neck can recover.
Oh, that's just wonderful. Just wonderful. Oh, there you are.
All right, here we go. Um, I gotta say though, the penalties drew me drew me nuts the past few games,
Mm-hmm.
but hopefully next week the penalties will slow down because, like you said, Brennan, a lot of them were just unnecessary, but also understandable. But also that one play that last night's game, that touchdown was very close to becoming a
Oh
touchdown.
yeah, it did.
But oh, by the way, how about them Emmys for your ratings? Um, so what next we have on our list, Brennan?
Oh man, you know, really tough. The ratings throughout this. I mean, okay, sure, there are some boring games. There were some really good games, I will say. Basically, I mean, one of them two was really good, I will say. For this rating, oh man, I will say, basically in this one, if I do have to give a rating, I mean, I will say in this one, I would like give it like probably in this one, like I'll do numbers on my end. I'll probably go like at least 8 or 8.5 on my end. Probably out of those 10 stars.
All right. What about you, Chester?
About a 7.5 out of 10.
All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna do 8.5 for me.
Okay.
So what's next we have on our list, Brennan?
I mean, although I don't have anything planned for after that, but however, what I could do is do a little preview going into week 2.
Go for it.
Yep, and I hopefully won't take me that long. So just give me a few short seconds. All right, there we go. Got that up on my end. Come on, load. There you are. All right. For the week 2 games, for the preview for this, where it involves, of course, the usual Thursdays, as they have the both 1-0 teams of both the Los Angeles Chargers and the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, it's gonna be a really interesting game to see what happens. As mentioned, with Butker and them because of the so-called blaming the Arizona turf and all that, which is they should have some more explanation on that, Mr. Reed. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
But with that, we go into Sunday's games where it involves all of them playing, where they have the Jets going up against the Browns. We also have the Commanders going up against the Lions. Both 1-0 teams, the Buccaneers and the Saints, going at it. We also have the Panthers and Giants. The Patriots and the Steelers. Really interesting game on that.
Mm-hmm.
We also got the Colts and Jaguars. And then Dolphins and Ravens going at it.
Yep.
Then both 0-1 teams, the Falcons and of course the reigning defending Super Bowl champion Los Angeles Rams.
Mm-hmm.
And you got the Seahawks going up against the 49ers, an NFC West showdown. And with that, also on top of that, we got the Bengals and Cowboys, both 0-1. Hopefully, one of them will go to 1-1 or a tie. Again, who knows? And the next game that we got is the Texans going up against the Broncos. Probably in this one, the Broncos should have no problem. Hopefully, they learned their lesson from last night's game.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got the Cardinals going up against the Las Vegas Raiders. And then Sunday Night Football, though, on NBC, where it involves the Green Bay Packers going up against we got the Chicago Bears, or should I say the other way around, the Bears and the Packers, if to be more specific. But again, it's going to be a good game, good rivalry game, though,
Oh, yeah.
for many years. A long time rivalry. And we also have a doubleheader for next week's Monday Night Football, where it involves one game where it involves the Titans against the Bills, which will be aired on ESPN. And then on ABC, though, we'll have the Vikings going up against the Eagles.
That's gonna be a good game.
Indeed, it is. So, again, hopefully the week 2 can improve a little bit more. And of course, as mentioned, hopefully less penalties. Probably some there will be understandable. Again, some won't be necessary. Penalties.
Yep.
I mean, yeah, that is basically it for the week 2 going preview for the 2022 NFL season.
All right. So, I think that's gonna be it for part 1 here because we are gonna be recording this there tonight as we're doing this video because we are gonna be having our other member of the show, Count Victor, who will be giving his rant on last night's game. I told him, uh, all I want you to do for this is to do the rant because I want to hear his thoughts and no rush at all because we're doing this for fun and we are just testing out something new here. So we will be right back there tonight for part 2 of the rant of last night's game. So we'll be right back right now. Alright, so we are here right now with Count Victor, who is one of the members of the show, but Brennan and Jennifer got to do some stuff, so she's gonna be me and him discussing about the game uh that that happened. And Victor, go ahead.
Okay. Well, with this game, overall, I felt it was actually a pretty good game. Aside from what I'm gonna get into, like in terms of like the, it was probably the best game of the entire weekend of week 1. Aside from maybe the one with the surprise win from the Giants.
Mm-hmm.
So, but the biggest problem so far, from what I've seen, is the coaching on the Broncos. I forget this guy's fucking name. Nathaniel. Oh, fuck. I wish I looked this up before. The Broncos coach. Let's see here.
It is
Nathaniel Hackett.
Nathaniel
Nathaniel
Hackett.
That's this guy. In the fourth quarter, he was botching everywhere. First and foremost, there was like 10 plus penalties on the ground. There's literally making so many penalties, it's not even funny. It was a penalty everywhere in the last maybe half of the game. It's just utterly ridiculous in terms of how badly that botched up. Clearly, they didn't get enough time. He didn't give Russell Wilson enough time to cook it up, as they often say, to, make those plays, those very, very big plays that, of course, he's capable of doing. And then you get to one of the worst, things you could do to end a game. They wasted so much time to just do a timeout. They already had 3 timeouts. They had their full. They didn't use a timeout in the second quarter, so they had all their slots filled up. They could have used a timeout 30 seconds before they actually did. They timed out in like 15 seconds left. They did a timeout 15 seconds left. You should have cut that shit about a minute. In a minute left of the game, do the timeout then, and then use your timeouts. But no, we're going to do it 15 seconds at the end of the game. Utterly ridiculous. And then to the fact that instead of doing maybe a 2-point conversion, trusting Wilson to get possibly even that touchdown or that 2-point conversion, we're just going to freaking let the McManus kick the ball 64 yards away. That's utterly ridiculous. What kind of stupid coach? That's like one of the stupidest things I've ever seen a coach do. Like, that's utterly ridiculous. And of course they didn't make it. Of course they didn't make it because it was that far away. It's utterly just. Why'd you even bother? Why couldn't you at least go for, what was it, the 4 8? They could have just gone for that, trusted Wilson, and maybe do a touchdown to win the game. It's utterly ridiculous. Literally, the Seahawks were kicking their ass the entire game. Geno Wilson looked really good as a quarterback on Monday night. What? Geno Smith, excuse me. Did I say the right? I don't know. But he looked really good on Monday night. He looked really, really good, especially considering that Wilson was in the Seahawks for such a long time. This is his first game with the Broncos. I don't think he even stood a chance with the Seahawks fan base because the fan base, they were booing him out. If you saw at the beginning of the game, they were booing him out of the building. They were booing him. It was the loudest boos you could ever. I thought the Cowboys fan base was bad. And that's another story because with that fan base, what they did on Sunday was utterly ridiculous. Throwing trash at Dak after he got injured, and then the fight that broke out after the game was over, utterly ridiculous. But with this, I don't feel like, as good as a player as Wilson is, I don't think maybe he couldn't even stand a chance in that stadium because they were booing him the entire game. I think it lost his focus. He lost his focus because they were booing him so much. He wasn't focused all that much. It was a very weak performance for him, all things considered. But even though he was weak, it's not his fault. The fault is with Nathaniel Hackett as the coach. This guy, oh my God, he said, I think he said yesterday, that he said that he should have gone for the final play at the 4th and 5th. It was a 4th and 5th, 4th down, 5th. He should have gone for the 4th and 5th play, 4th and 5th, and actually let Wilson do what he had to do. But no, we got to get 64 freaking yards away. It's one of the worst decisions I've ever seen a coach do. You're about as bad. You're looking as about as Jerry Jones right now, the guy who runs the Cowboys. Utterly ridiculous showing. It's just, what were they thinking? I don't understand what they were thinking. Like, you could have easily let Wilson do what he had to do, but no. We go like that. It's ridiculous. Like, the Seahawks did a very good job. All things considered, they had a very good defense, very good offense. They still need, they still could need a little bit of work because it was just a 1-point game. But it's only the beginning of the season, so I think they're gonna let themselves stretch out a little bit. But with this, I'm not sure how the Broncos are going to do because of this fucking coach. It's literally just some of the worst coaching I've seen in a long time. It's just
Agreed.
it's awful. It's unbelievably awful. If this coach doesn't get his shit together, the Broncos are gonna be screwed.
Yep.
It's utterly ridiculous on what the coach should you should just let him go. You should just let him do what he had to let Wilson do what he had to do, and maybe they'd get the touchdown. But no. We go to this ridiculous nonsense with the kick.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez. I mean, 64 yards away. I don't know what you were thinking. That's all I have to say. It's utterly ridiculous.
I have to agree because, like, that is a long shot, and
Long shot's an understatement.
yeah, and for you to decide to do that at a big game like this in the first week,
In a Monday Night Football game. It's a huge game, but no, you blew it.
yeah, you put it right there at the end. But what is your other thoughts about this first week for the NFL?
The first week showed me that the NFC kind of sucks right now. Literally, other than the Seahawks, not one win in the NFC. What is it, the NFC or is it the AFC? Because the Giants, I think, are in the NFC, right?
Let me look it up here. Just to
Let me look
double
at
check
these standings.
sure. The
Actually,
NFC
no.
standings.
What?
The NFC standings right now is the Vikings, Giants, Eagles, Seahawks, and Buccaneers.
I mean, I honestly, I don't know what they're thinking. I'm trying to look this up right now, seeing how many, like, let me just see here, just to be sure, because I know an entire, like, okay, the NFC West division, NFC West.
Yeah.
Other than the Seahawks winning, the 49ers lost, the Cardinals lost, and the Rams. That's the most embarrassing thing with the Rams. Absolutely embarrassing.
Yeah.
I love the Bills. I wanted them to win. But even with that, the Rams did such a piss poor job. Matthew Stafford got sacked like 7 times.
Mm-hmm.
Which, from what I've been hearing, is one of the most largest sacks of any quarterback right now.
Yeah.
It's utterly. It was an embarrassing showing. The Bills, they looked incredible out there. I mean, I'm rooting for as a New Yorker, I'm rooting for Buffalo, obviously. But in terms of that, their team is absolutely crazy. Von Miller looked great. So did Josh Allen. And then with that, but in terms of the other games I've seen, because of course, get whatever games are shown on national television, sometimes they change it up depending on where you live. So for what I got in terms of the games that I got, the rest of the games I got were looking at the schedule. I remember I got the Giants and what was it today? The Giants and should have been more prepared, but I'm just looking at the NFL schedule. What happened here? Okay, so the ones I got on my side of the area, the Ravens and the Jets. Embarrassing Jets. Then again, the Jets always suck, but you would think maybe they'd have a chance after having such a good draft. Nope. The Ravens kicked their ass, and it was just utterly ridiculous. And then of course we have what was it? Did I get the which one did I get? I got the Eagles and the Lions, I believe. I'm pretty sure. On Fox, the first game that they showed. And it was kind of a boring game. It got pretty close towards the end. Towards the end, it got really, really good, but at the beginning, it was kind of slow. The Jets obviously sucked. It was boring. The Giants and the Titans, for the most part, was boring until the last quarter when Barkley did that rushing pass to get them back in the game, and then the field goal. I was so happy as a Giants fan. I was just so happy that they finally actually won against a big team like that, like the Titans. It's just an incredible miracle that they were able to pull it off. I hope that because of this, they could win more games. I'm very, very hopeful about them, possibly.
What's your
And the,
thoughts about your Giants?
the Giants were looking pretty good, all things considered, even though we technically were losing so much of the game. But in terms of what we had, like, the thing is that with the Giants, not a lot of the people we got in the draft played in this first game. So if we get like Thibodeau playing and all these other guys, maybe we could get better and we could get really, really good. It's very, very hopeful right now in terms of the Giants.
Yeah.
And then the last game I got, at least on Eastern Standard Time, on my side of neck of the woods, the Chiefs and the Cardinals. It wasn't even close. I turned the game off halfway through because I knew the Chiefs were gonna win. It wasn't even close. It was such a boring ass game. They kept on making touchdown, and the Cardinals didn't even come back and make they looked embarrassing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, in terms of the games I saw week 1, not a lot of them were great, but in terms of the great ones that come back from the Giants, and of course, despite the fact that the freaking Broncos coach is a complete idiot, that game was actually pretty good because it was actually close.
Yeah.
And the Buccaneers and the Cowboys. Let me tell you something about this game. Woo! When Tom Brady even said that they sucked, when the Buccaneers sucked in this game, that's how you know you had a terrible game. Yes, the Buccaneers won, but that game sucked. It sucked. Big time. Nothing barely happened. It was boring. It was a defensive game. I hate defensive games. That's just a pet peeve. I'm just like,
I'm the same way.
oh my god, defensive games made me bored. I was looking more at my phone on Twitter than compared to this shit. And the Cowboys, it goes without saying that they looked embarrassing. Absolutely embarrassing. I'm going to say this right now. I hope Dak does get better. With that being said, I don't think he's a good quarterback. He's overhyped. The Cowboys fans always saying, oh, this is their year. This is our year. This is our year to go to the Super Bowl. You guys keep losing. Your season's practically already over.
Mm-hmm.
With this embarrassing nonsense and Dak getting injured, it's already over. And the Cowboys fans, let me tell you something, they're the most toxic football fan base I've ever seen. Because as I said earlier, when Dak got injured and he had to get taken out of the game, people were throwing trash at him when he was leaving. It's like when the Yankees fans throwing earlier this year, throwing trash at the other team. What was the team they were playing? I have no idea who the Yankees were playing. Cleveland. They were throwing trash at him. It was the exact same thing here, except it wasn't the Yankee fan. It was the Yankee fans towards another team. This is the Cowboys against their own freaking part of the team. You're turning against Dak. I'm like, can't you just be sympathizing with him for a second because he got freaking injured? Like, for God's sake. And of course, Jerry Jones, he's a fucking terrible manager. Fucking terrible. It's just, the Cowboys are not going to get better until he goes away. That's how bad it is. Until he gets away, Cowboys are still going to be in the same position over and over and over again. And then let's not forget to mention the fight that broke out at the end of the game when everything was said and done. People were literally getting like, what's the term? They were getting like stomped at or something. People were beating the crap out of each other. It was just like they were getting jumped on. That's what I was trying to look for. They were getting jumped on and fighting and throwing shit. I'm just like, you kidding me? It's like
Yeah.
childish behavior. It's just, yes, you could be disappointed by your loss. That's fine. But to take it out on other people is utterly ridiculous.
Agreed.
Utterly ridiculous. It was just a shit show of a game. Again, when Brady says that even they sucked, the Buccaneers sucked in this game, that's how you know you fucked up, because Brady didn't even do any fucking touchdowns. Maybe he got one in, if I remember correctly, but that's it. That's
Mhm.
it. They didn't do nothing for the rest of the game. Brady kind of sucked out there too. Yeah, he's called the greatest of all time, and yet here he didn't even do that all that good. I mean, I'm not much of a Brady fan. I kind of respect him. I have said in the past that he's overrated. I still kind of stand by that, but that's another story for another time before David gets very angry with me. But Brady, he's a good player. He's a good player. He's a team effort type of player. Even he wasn't that good.
Mhm.
He wasn't even that good. Even he admitted it. Embarrassing showing overall. Week 1 wasn't that good. I'm hoping week 2 is so much better. I hope. That's the only thing you can do is hope.
Yes. But I think that's gonna end it here for the first football podcast episode here on this new channel. Um, this is the beginning. We just recently came up with new ideas for this show that will be in future weeks. We're just getting started. We are just gonna be basically just recapping each week with the news and all of that good stuff. And yeah, this is only the beginning, but it's gonna be crazy for the next weeks here for the football season.
18 weeks.
18 weeks. And I really hope the Patriots get back on track.
And I hope that the Broncos can get their shit together. If not, fire that coach.
Yeah, same.
You
Yeah.
pay Russell Wilson that much money and you butcher him like that? Give me a break.
Yeah. And speaking of the Patriots, the Bill Belichick, there's
Oh my God,
Rex
Belichick.
Ryan rips him
Rex
by
Ryan?
saying,
You sure you're not talking about Rex Reed, who's also a piece of shit?
he says that you have no weapons.
You have no Rex Reed, not Rex Reed. Rex Ryan is he still part of the Jets?
And
No wonder they suck.
and how many championships he's won? You guys see more.
The Jets fucking blew. Their season is practically already over too, because absolutely embarrassing that oh my God, Rex Ryan is so full of himself. He always is, but this is kind of just like, what are you talking about? Saying the guy, this is coming from the guy who is the Jets haven't gone into the postseason in God knows how long.
Yeah.
Like, jeez.
Mm-hmm. But and by the way, they lost 24-9.
Wow.
But that's gonna be it for this first episode. I want to thank everybody for watching, and I will see you all next week for rank number 2. Good night.
Night.
Don't forget to subscribe to the Democratic Network for great more content like this one.